Hi, my name is Brian Caffo. I'm a professor in the Department of Biostatistics at the Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health, and this is the rCharts lecture, part of the Data Products class in the Coursera Data Science Specialization. This class is co-taught by my co-instructors Jeff Leake and Roger Pang. So rCharts, is a really awesome little piece of software. So it's basically just a way to create interactive JavaScript visualizations using R. So what this means is you don't have to learn complicated tools like D3, but if you really want to get into this kind of stuff, you need to learn D3 and JavaScript really well. You can simply work in R with a minimal amount of new syntax learning. And rCharts was written by Ramnath, a close friend of the data science series, who also wrote Slidify, the framework we use for all the lectures in the class. And rCharts can be embedded in Slidify, and I'll show you that in the process of doing this lecture. At any rate, rCharts is fairly well documented, but more, I guess, better than documentation is the kind of flurry of Stack Exchange topics about it. And so, basically I'm just going to go through the documentation here with you. So what rCharts is, so you have to install it, and the documentation of course shows you how to install rCharts. You install it from GitHub. So you want to do library required rCharts. Hair is here just reformatting a data frame from this dataset hair color. And so the basic function for a specific type of rChart is nplot. So nplot calls a specific JavaScript plotting library, and in this case, notice the syntax. It's pretty familiar, right? So we want the frequency plotted as it depends on hair color, almost like a linear model. And here we want it grouped by eye color, and the type is multi-bar chart. And here there's just some data subsetting, so you specify a data command. So it actually looks an awful lot like LM. If you do this in R without that there, don't assign the plot to a value, it brings up the plot. If you assign the plot to a value, for me it's not bringing up the plot, but then this object has, list element has a bunch of objects saved in it. And so for one is the function save, and then you just can grab that function save and give it a name. In this case, I wanted to name this plot n1.html, and it saves an HTML file with the relevant code in it to produce the plot. And so here now, when I want to embed it back into Slidify, I actually type this command, icat, which is just print out this iframe where I source in this HTML, and Ramnath said that was sort of best practices for embedding a rChart into Slidify. But if you don't want to embed it into Slidify, you could just either type n1 by itself on a command line, or forget assigning n1 to a plot, just type nplot and you'll get the plot that we see. Okay, let me just give a couple caveats here. Is that I just had to actually stop the video and rerun a bunch of things because I was working across different computers, and I had to reinstall the latest version of Slidify and the latest version of rCharts to get the embedding within R to run. Otherwise, it seems to be that rCharts seems to have no problems. It's this idea of embedding rCharts into Slidify that is maybe a little finicky. Anyway, it seems like I got it to work now. So here's the N1 plot, and you can see the colors on the horizontal axis right here, the hair colors, right? And then you see the eye colors as the actual colors of the bars, right? And if you hover over a bar, it gives you the frequency and the information on hair and eye color, right? And so this interactivity comes with very little cost, and you can even do stuff like switch between grouped and stacked bar plots, and notice it has kind of a nice animation when it does it, right? And so remember, right,